reality, creating probable futures. This is chapter 12, part of Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self. This is by author Sanaya Roman. Let's begin. Now, to grow spiritually, it is important to know, and really it's important to know this, that you create your own reality. I start off every day scripting, and one of the first things I write on the top of every page is that I create my own destiny or my own life, but I create it. I fundamentally understand and agree with the statement that I am a creator, and the thoughts of my mind, the emotions of my mind, and then therefore the actions of my hands are creating the environment which I currently exist. And that's empowering, because if I do not like my current existence, by accepting the fact that I am a creator and that I do create my reality, then of course I can change it. So if you want to grow spiritually, it's important that you know and that you understand and you accept the fact that you do create your own reality. A major turning point in your growth comes when you begin to take responsibility for everything that happens. For everything. When you realize this is possible, that is, to create your life, the one that you want, you and your higher self become the captain of your ship. And that really is the empowering part of life, the freeing part of life. Having this understanding, you can become free indeed. Now, you are the source, the creator of your life. You can create your reality through your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your intent, which determine your vibration. And your vibration determines the people, the objects, the events, and the circumstances which attract in your life. So it's in that order. You're creating your environment based on your thoughts. Your thoughts create a vibration throughout your being. Now, you are not your body. And I think if you're listening to content like this, particularly if you've been on this channel before, this is common language. We discussed the idea that, you are more than your body. You are at a base level energy and you vibrate. And so your thoughts and your emotions emit a vibration. And it's always pulling something to you. The question is, what is that something or someone? Is it wanted or unwanted? So you must guard your thoughts. Now, your emotion and your intent determines how fast what you want and what you're thinking about coincide. Your emotions and your intent determine how fast you get what you are thinking about. So if you're in full agreement of your entrepreneurship and you are picturing in your mind every day the success of your entrepreneurship, and you are refusing to entertain any sideline thoughts or obstacles or negative information regarding it, and you only see it as true, you're vibrating with it, you're connecting with it on a spiritual level, it has no other choice but to manifest in the physical level. But it all really has to do with you. Now, because you create your own reality, you can choose the reality that you want. Because there's a time lag in between the time that you have your thoughts and the appearance of the things that you want in your reality, there are many people who do not realize that that this is true, that they create their own reality. They will say that's not the case. They will say that things are happening to them. There are other forces outside of them that are creating their environments, particularly environments that they don't necessarily like. But you, on a higher spiritual level, you're listening to this content, you're either interested in knowing more about this or you already agree with this ideology that you do create your own reality. And perhaps you just want to know how. How can I do this? Or how can I be more effective in doing it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the growing belief that you create your own reality is one of the most major shifts happening right now. There's a huge consciousness vibration going across the planet at the time of recording. This is 2020, and anyone who's lived in 2020 so far realizes this has been a new existence for us. There's so many different things that are happening, but one of the good things that is happening and has been happening is the level of consciousness of people has begun to increase. A lot of awareness on the planet. Until recently, the existing mass believe that they've been people who are at the mercy of vast, uncontrollable forces. Many of our culture's social structures are designed to protect us against these forces, i.e., our churches, religion, politics, and things like that. Now, the thought that you create your own reality is sweeping through the minds of millions. All those who are searching and awakening to their true higher selves are becoming aware that they create their own reality. Now, it's being shared in dream states through each person's higher self. This is primarily how the communication initiates and starts. Thoughts held in common by masses of people determine the way the world works. So it's kind of like this, individually you can affect your life, but collectively we can affect the world that we all live in. As more and more people understand that we create our own reality, many major changes will occur in our society. Understanding that what we think affects the world, we can experience things around us that create more positive changes in our society. It can be economy, it can be the climate, it can just be being nicer to people. And when people know that they can create what they want, and then they learn how to do it, they'll feel more powerful and in control of their own lives. And isn't that what we all really want? We want to feel in control of our lives. We don't want to feel like we have to do things we don't want to do. We want to feel like we can provide for ourselves and be secure in our own being and live the types of lives that we want to live. As people learn more about the principles of creating their own reality, they'll begin to have lives of increasing abundance, increasing love, and increasing spiritual growth. Now, you can live the probable reality where there's a clean environment and humanity at peace. So say, for example, if your goal, if your intent, if your picture in your mind is a world of harmony and peace and good environment, well, you can have that. The question is how. There are many probable futures for humanity. In one, people become responsible about the environment, they exist together in peace, they honor the earth, and they honor each other. Now, if you imagine that world growing more beautiful, people choosing to be more loving to each other in a clean environment, you'll start moving into the probable universe where that happens. If you focus on the wonderful, positive aspects of the world and see the beauty and live in love for everyone, you will vibrate with and flow into a more positive reality. The common theme there is if you believe it and if you continue to concentrate on that. It's hinting to the idea that, of course, there are other aspects of the world. And if you concentrate on that, then you'll get more of that. So the idea here is where your thoughts are, your energy is, and your energy is going to attract more of that to you. So decide what you want, picture it in your mind clear, and focus and concentrate on that and that alone. And you will draw it to you. That is the simple way of describing it. Now, to say it's simple to do wouldn't be fair, because there are a number of things that will happen that we will see and hear that could potentially throw us off our focus. But our work, if we're going to say it that way, our work would be to stay on task, to stay on focus, to continue, irregardless of the news that we hear or the things that we see, is to focus on positivity. That would be the work. And that would be what you would get. You would get the positivity. If you imagine world peace, a general global climate, and a stable economy on the earth, you'll flow into that reality that matches your pictures. By picturing the world you would like to live in, you can become part of the probable reality in which that occurs. When you first begin picturing the probable universe you will want to live in, such as a world of peace, love, and clean air, conditions will change in ways that seem logical and believable to you. If you worry constantly about earthquakes and disasters, however, you may experience that probable reality as well. That may occur. The bottom line is, instead of picturing things growing worse, picture things always growing better. always growing better. And if you catch yourself worrying about the environment, the weather, earth changes, larger scale events, economy, politics, whatever the case may be, just simply stop that thought and replace it with a different thought. Begin to imagine things turning out wonderfully. Always think best case scenario. Just even take out of your vocabulary worst case scenario. Just take it. I've taken it out of my vocabulary. I don't even say that anymore. When someone calls me, I always think it's good news. When someone's giving me options, I always think, well, what's the best that could happen here? Because we're always, we were programmed to think, well, what's the worst? You go for a job interview, you say, okay, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. In other words, that is a double-minded man. That's why you can't be successful with those thoughts. You have to focus on one or the other. And it's the equivalent of sowing a seed and immediately pulling it up to see if it's growing. Well, if you're going to sow the seed, give it time to germinate and grow, and have faith and know that seed is going to produce after its own kind. Now, you can create your personal reality any way you want. Right before you fall asleep, here's a technique for you. Right before you fall asleep, there's a powerful time for you to create a new reality. Think of the day ahead. Visualize your ideal day and imagine yourself waking up full of energy. These thoughts will go out to the future and meet you with the new day. Challenge yourself to imagine having even more abundance than the past, more energy, good feelings, clarity and focus, self-love, compassion for others, whatever it is that you want. See yourself having more of it each day. And as you master creating your ideal day, start visualizing even larger things. Allow yourself to daydream, fantasize, feeling the joy and good feelings you will have when you have this great day, this reality comes to you. So let's back up just a second here, because this is really meaty. And I want to give you two reference points. One, I always talk about, if you've been on the channel before, it's Neville Goddard. And he has talked about this since his days of lecturing back in, I think he began in the 1930s. Obviously, when there was a very deep and dark time in our history in terms of the Great Depression. One of the things that he talked about on a consistent basis is the use of your imagination and what he called living in the end. Generate the feeling. What would it feel like to have that thing that you want? That relationship, that entrepreneurship, the health. Let's say you want to lose weight. How would you feel 50 pounds lighter, 75 pounds lighter? If you've always wanted to be a mom, or you've always wanted to be married, what would it feel like to walk through the park with your husband, with your spouse, with your partner? What would that feel like? And the reason I keep emphasizing the feeling is because that really is what is going to generate the manifestation. The universe doesn't speak English or German or Russian, but it does communicate with you through vibration and through feelings. So the great teacher who said, when you pray, believe now that you receive this, whatever it is. Whatsoever things you desire is how he started that statement. Whatsoever things you desire, when you pray, believe now that you have already received it and you shall have it. This is the truth that's been passed down from generation to generation. And only seemingly a few of us understand this and know this and accept this as truth in terms of how do we create. First is spiritual. It has to be created in your being. Everything comes from the inside out. So that thing that you want, like Charles Snell, if you go back on our channel, we did an entire breakdown chapter by chapter of a book called The Master Key by a guy named Charles Snell. This is a book that Bill Gates and a lot of other folks have read who understand these concepts. And one of the main things that Charles Snell talked about was creating a positive and habitual thought pattern. Picture the thing that you want to manifest, the thing that you desire. Create a blueprint in your mind. Visit it every day, in the morning, afternoon, and evening. In your quiet time, go to that house that you want to live in your imagination. Walk through the house, take your shoes off, feel the carpet, sit out by the swimming pool, dip your feet in the water. Every day, visit this unmanifested thing that you want in your mind, and keep doing it. And don't let obstacles break your concentration. And eventually you will bring it from the spiritual into the physical. Because what happens is you are planting seeds in a very fertile soil, the soil of the universe. And the universe feels that vibration and begins to, as we were talking earlier here in the chapter, organize events and people and circumstances and resources to bring that thing to you. And again, this is creation. So you can have the reality you want. That's how you do it. Now, there's another way that you can also change your reality. You can do it by rewriting your past. Rewriting your past. As you change the past in your mind, you can change your vibration, and you can begin to draw to yourself a new future. Neville Goddard also talked about this. He also talked about the idea that before you go to sleep every night, how important it is to do two things. Number one, rewrite the day before. So if you had some things that didn't happen the way you wanted to happen today, and you're about to go to sleep tonight, spend time before you go to sleep rewriting the day. See the no's as yeses. See the blunders as complete implementations and success. Whatever that happened that day that was displeasing to you, use your imagination and recreate those events. Why? Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference. You're really living in a dream anyway. So what difference does it make? Recreate it in your mind, change the vibration of your body before you go to sleep, and you are programming your subconscious mind. So that's number one. Number two is, again, to go and visit that blueprint that Charles Snell talked about in your mind. Where is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to have? And before you go to sleep, won't get great detail here, but your mind, your brain rather, is going to go into a different state as you enter into the path of sleep. And it will be more receptive to these ideas. And that is when you can reprogram your subconscious mind. Why your subconscious mind? Because your subconscious mind is really what connects you to the universal mind, not your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is going to argue. It is going to try to legitimize and use logic and these sorts of things. Subconscious mind doesn't do any of that. The subconscious mind connects with the universal mind and can bring into being whatever it is that you program into it. So if you continue to say things like, I'll never get this job, I'll never lose this weight, I'll never find someone to marry me, then you're right. Because you're programming your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, it only says yes, and it is organizing circumstances and events to meet that vibration. You have but to change your vibration in order to receive the things that you want. So, for example, right now, if you say, I've lived a life of debt, I don't want to live in debt anymore. Picture yourself as vibrant, as free, as secure, and independent. What does it feel like to be financially abundant, to be able to go as you choose, to be completely debt-free, to not even consider looking at a bill and know everything is paid? That's where your concentration should be, and the subconscious mind will begin to connect with the universal mind to ensure that the circumstances and events are coming about to make that a reality. So, rewrite your past. So at the end of the day, guys, we're going to get ready to close out. I hope this has been helpful for you. The basis is this. We do create our own reality. It has to do with what we accept as being true in terms of what we believe and what our habitual thinking promotes. What are we thinking about all the time? Buddha said, you become what you think about. A man is what he thinks he is. In likely every sacred book, there is some indication that your thoughts create your reality. Your faith, your beliefs create the world that you live in. So do more investigating if you still are struggling with that. Listen to this again. But at the end of the day, you can choose what information and situations you agree with. This is important. And what you want as your truth. Everybody's truth doesn't have to be your truth. So if you are weak in this area and you're on social media all the time and every thought comes, because God knows everybody has an opinion on everything, and it is bringing you displeasure, discomfort, because one second, the world is saying this, then the second somebody else is saying that, and you're going back and forth, and there's a lot of uncertainty within your spirit. You need to kind of move away from that stuff, because you are being manipulated with this information. So you get to decide what's your truth. Now, what you accept as your truth will create your reality. So that's number one. If you read something you don't like or you don't agree with, don't accept it. It isn't true for you. Simply say, it may be true for others, but I don't have to accept this and make it part of my own reality. Other people may be getting sick, not me. It's not part of my reality. Instead of accepting others' opinions of reality, you can say, I choose my reality. Do I choose a reality I am hearing or reading about? Does it empower me? Does it serve me in practical ways? Does it make my life better? Will believing this bring me joy? Will it bring me aliveness? Will it bring me more love? These are things that you should be asking before you accept information into your subconscious mind. Because once it gets in, it's hard to get out. You're programming yourself. So guys, at the end of the day, our future can be one of love, laughter, and inner peace. What we have to do, we can create our own positive future by choosing the reality that we want. And again, we do this by creating that habitual positive thought pattern. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. I'm going to put a link for, if you've never heard of Neville, I'm going to put a link in our bio below so you can at least hear one of the lectures that I love the most that comes from him in terms of using your imagination and creating with your imagination, living in the end. Guys, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Take a look below. We've got a free giveaway for you. It is a free download for a book that talks about the importance of meditation and the importance of a personal yoga practice. It's completely free. All we need is your email and we'll shoot it right to your inbox. Thanks again, guys. I hope that you are moving in the direction and always being your true higher self. We'll see you soon.